Harambee! Harambee! Kasongo ni one term, si one term. Ole Mtutu ni one term, si one term. Maskonde asiingie. Aongee asiongee.
Narok woke up tense, but by the end of the day, the script the state hoped to push had collapsed. What was meant to intimidate RIGATHI Gachagua turned into a loud and public rejection of President William Ruto in a region the government assumed was firmly under its control. The state machinery was deployed early. Police were placed on every road leading to Narok with clear orders to stop Gashagua from entering the town or campaigning for his preferred candidate in the upcoming by-election. What followed exposed the growing cracks inside government and the impatience building among citizens who feel pushed, ignored and mishandled.
Ati polisi wanaweka roadblock nisingie Narok. Nimefika sijafika. Hii serikali ya Kasongo inaogopa mimi Rigiji. Inaniogopa zaidi. Ati polisi zaidi ya 1000 wamejazwa hapa Narok. Ati wanizuie kufika Narok. Ndio niongee na watu ya Narok. Harambee!
The plan was simple: keep Gashagua out, frustrate his convoy and send a warning to anyone considering breaking ranks with the president. But the mood on the ground took a different direction. The locals watched the roadblocks go up and saw the police lined in full gear, and instead of siding with the state, they sided with the man the government wanted to silence. Crowds started building at the main junction. Small groups merged into large groups. People who had planned to go about their day stopped to see what was unfolding. Soon, the chants rose above the noise of traffic and the tension of the standoff. The town turned into a wave of voices telling the president he had lost his welcome.
Nimefika sijafika. Hii serikali ya Kasongo inaogopa mimi Rigiji. Inaniogopa zaidi. Ati polisi zaidi ya 1000. Ati wanizuie kufika Narok. Ndio niongee na watu ya Narok. Harambee! Harambee! Msiogope, hii ni vijana wachache.
Police tried to scatter them. They lobbed teargas, fired into the air, and pushed people off the roads, but the crowd refused to melt away. Narok had made up its mind. It was not just a political rally anymore. It had turned into a protest against state control, against the presidency that many here feel had drifted far from its promises. The sights of residents standing against armed police while defending Gashagua's right to speak said everything. The more the police pushed, the louder the crowd answered. Anyone watching could see the moment the operation failed. Despite the heavy presence of security officers, Gashagua's convoy forced its way through. The crowd cheered him in with a sense of triumph, as if they had broken a siege. He stood on his vehicle and addressed the masses with a boldness that matched the mood of the day. He accused Ruto of fear and weakness, and people responded with even more fire. The government tried to silence him, but Narok gave him a platform 10 times larger than he would have had without the attempted blockage.
Na msiuzue uoga. Mamasai oye. Narok oye. Maskonde oye. Maskonde ataingia. Hii ujinga mmefanya leo ndio itafanya Maskonde apite asubuhi. Si ndio? Atapita. Mimi nimeona hii siasa ya Kasongo ya ujinga, ya fujo, ya kupiga watu mawe ni siasa ambayo imepitwa na wakati.
By the time he finished speaking, the political story had already written itself. The former deputy president walked into a town the state tried to lock him out of and walked out looking like the man with the momentum. The police, who were supposed to stop him, ended up exposing the depth of frustration in the county. For the first time in a long while, it was clear that the political ground is shifting faster than State House expected.
Kura ya watu ya Narok mtafanyia nini? Sikura muko naye? Si mnapigia Maskonde? Bona wewe Ole Mtutu na Kasongo mnataka kulazimisha watu ya Narok atuwapigie mtu yenu kura. Kwani kura itapigwa na nguvu? Harambee! Maskonde
In politics, perception is everything. The image of a president's administration sending armed officers to block a rival only for citizens to turn the scene into a revolt is the kind of picture that sticks. It feeds into the growing claims that Ruto is losing the country one region at a time. It strengthens the narrative that he is out of touch with the ordinary people who are dealing with high prices, broken promises, and an administration that appears more focused on punishing dissent than improving lives.
Hapana tisha watu ya Narok. Watu ya Narok wapewe nafasi wachague kiongozi wanataka. Narok hoye! Narok hoye! Sasa wanajua wamepoteza. Wanajua maskoni yako mbele. Wako na uoga. Watu wanatupa mawe.
Gashagua has been positioning himself as the voice of the frustrated. Narok gave him the perfect stage to push that message. His supporters left the rally feeling like they had won something bigger than a confrontation. They felt they had pushed back against the state and defended their right to choose their own political direction. In a by-election season, that energy is priceless. On the other hand, the government walked away wounded. What should have been a simple operation turned into a public embarrassment. Instead of showing strength, they exposed fear. Instead of weakening Gashagua, they made him look unstoppable. If this was a test of influence, Ruto failed it in full view of the country.
Harambe! Harambe! Maskoni anatosha atoshi. Aingie asiingie. Hii ujinga kasongo mko naye.
Narok is not the first place to show discontent with the president, but the events of the day highlighted a new level of resistance. A government that relies on roadblocks and teargas to manage politics is a government that no longer trusts its own popularity. A crowd that stands its ground in the face of armed officers is a crowd that has decided it has nothing left to lose.
Msiogope, hii ni vijana wachache. Hiyo vijana, hiyo ni watu wachache sana. Mudile na hawa vile natakikana. Na msiogope, na msiuzue uoga.
In the end, the story of the day was simple. The state tried to silence one man. The people turned it into a loud message. Gashagua walked away with a victory in spirit. Ruto walked away with a warning he can no longer ignore.
Ati polisi wanaweka roadblock nisingie Narok. Nimefika sijafika. Nimefika sijafika. Hii serikali ya Kasongo inaogopa mimi Rigiji. Inaniogopa zaidi. Ati polisi zaidi ya 1,000. Ati wanizuie kufika Narok. Ndio niongee na watu ya Narok. Harambe! Harambe! Msiogope, hii ni vijana wachache. Hiyo vijana, hiyo ni watu wachache sana. Mudile na hawa vile natakikana. Na msiogope.